Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I'm delighted to announce another milestone, groundbreaking TESOL first, a musical celebration of TESOL's 50th anniversary, featuring a star-studded cast of some of your favorite TESOL authors, past presidents, and board members. Please put your hands together for The Wizard of Oz, a TESOL tale that...
Wait, Mr. President, oh my God, Mr. President, you know, I hate to break this to you, but there's been a terrible tornado. It's come all the way from Kansas, and it's blowing this way. Oh my gosh, you've got to get to safety. You know, get right down here, yeah, right over here, and there's a place over there that you'll be really safe, okay? Oh my gosh, a tornado. You never know what a tornado is going to blow in. Oh,
Professor Marvel, I think I'm lost.
Oh, is that you? Is that you, Dorothy?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It is I, Dorothy, the small and meek.
The way I remember it, the small and the speak.
Professor Marvel, there was a terrible tornado. It picked up my house, and me in it, and Toto too, and I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. We must be over the rainbow.
Oh, what? Oh, Dorothy, no. No, we can't be. You're in Baltimore. You're in Maryland, and
Maryland.
This is
Maryland.
Maryland.
Is everyone merry here? Looks more like Sleepyland.
Oh my gosh. No. You don't. This is going to take a long time, folks. So, I mean, we're at the TESOL convention in Baltimore, Maryland, and these are all English teachers.
Wow, English teachers? Who would have thought there would be so many English teachers in 1966?
1966? Oh, I get it. 1966?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Dorothy. You know, this is going to take maybe a wizard to get this, straightened out for you. But guess what? TESOL was founded in 1966. Yeah, so, I mean, and what do you think?
Well, I must have been blown into the future. How tense.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you going to be able to catch me up on all my lost history?
And also your lost lines, too, probably. But, it is 2016, and we're 50 years later than... I think you can catch me up on the last 50 years. Was that what you were going to say?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good,
Thank you, Wizard.
Good. Yeah, well, I think we can do it. What do you think, folks? Do you think we can catch her up on 50 years of history? 50 years. That was some tornado, I want to tell you. So, well, let's go for it, okay? And we're going to have some friends to help us here. And oh my gosh, look at that tornado! I'm so glad you're safe. But I think there's a yellow brick road around here somewhere. Yeah, let's follow that road. You have some ruby slippers, and we've got a yellow brick road, so let's follow it, shall we?
Follow the yellow brick road?
Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Follow the yellow brick road. Well, okay, all right. You don't want to hear any more of that? Okay, so let's see now. Why don't you start from where you were 1966?
Well,
this was before the tornado. What do you remember?
In 1966, I was in your teaching English as a foreign language class, your TEFL methods class. How could I forget those awful drills? The book is on the shelf. The pen is on the shelf. The shelf is on the pen.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute here, Dorothy. I mean, you were a great teacher and an excellent student, my best student.
Well, Professor Marvel, I obviously had a marvelous teacher, but that was Kansas, and English is kind of a second language there anyway.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long morning. But Dorothy, you know, those pattern drills, they were a key to students' success. And in 1966, the audiolingual method was going strong. Mim-mem techniques, repetition and response. And these were all scientifically proven techniques for absolute success for the students.
But was it really the ultimate method, like a whiz of a method?
A whiz of a method. Yeah, right. Well, it was a pretty awesome method, if you ask me. And, you know,
Awesome method. Oh, very funny, very funny. Oh, who is this sweet, young thing? A picture of innocence and charm.
I am Dorothy, the small and meek from Kansas, and I'm looking for 50 years of lost history. Can you help me? Who are you?
Oh, I'm Belinda, and I'm a witch.
Oh, Professor Marvel, a witch. We're doomed.
Oh, relax, Missy. I'm actually a good witch. Well, I'm just a tiny bit conflicted, you know, a little bit good and a little bit bad. But in any case, I can help you. I have a magic wand here, and I'm an ESL teacher, and I work magic with my students.
Well, okay, Glinda, we think you're just the right person. I'm Professor Marvel, and we sure could use your help here because we've got a problem on our hands. Let's see, yes, we were in 1966, and that was my first year as assistant professor of linguistics. And Dorothy here was one of my TESOL method students. And oh, there's been so much, oh my gosh, there's been so much that...
Who are you?
You look as lost as I am. Who are you guys?
Well, is this Diane Larson Freeman's session on complexity theory for dummies? Are you? Oh my God! You're Diane Larson Freeman. I love your books. You are so brilliant. Could you autograph my program?
Yeah, it's not Diane. It's Dorothy. I get that a lot.
Oh no.
Who is Diane Larson Freeman anyway?
It took such courage to ask for her autograph. Oh no, I'm in the wrong room again. Oh. I am really quite embarrassed. Larson Freeman is the rarest. Me, I really have no nerve. Her thoughts are full of merit. I would like to be her favorite if I only had the noise.
Wait. Oh, yes. You two must be Betty Asa and Jack Richards. Ready for your presentation on grammar teaching? A load of crap. Oh, you two are... Your books are my Bible. I know them all, chapter and verse.
Oh, you know, sir, I'm not sure that I have the heart to tell you this, but I think you're in the wrong room, too.
Oh, dear me. I thought I know who they are. Jack Richards and Miss Asa, they're both so very smart. To them I would be kneeling, and I would thank them with such feeling if I only had a heart.
Okay, I get it. You guys are all wrong. I know you, Dr. David Noonan. Yeah, I've been in TESOL for 50 years, and I've always wanted to meet you. You're such a popular speaker. I want to hear your talk here on grammar translation, the ultimate method.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother, I think you are all straw. You need to sign up for maybe a new brain somewhere.
In all my years of teaching, my students I've been reaching, I think I'm gonna go insane. If my lessons could be snappy, then my students would be happy if I only had a brain.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, Glinda, these three, maybe as brainless and heartless and nerveless as they are, I wonder if they could possibly help us maybe to get Dorothy, you know, recovered over 50 years of lost memory. What do you think?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, wonders never cease. Let's give it a try.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you fellas have names? You, right there. You look like the main man.
Yeah, you can't hide your lion eyes.
Well, I'm the cowardly lion, and I'm just an MA TESOL student, and this is my first TESOL convention. But, you know, I'm so scared. As soon as I get home, I have to finish writing my thesis, and oh my God, these job interviews at the TESOL Job Center are just scaring the out of me. Will I ever find a job? I could teach at lots of places. I would deal out all my aces. I'd be more than just a blob. My lessons would be perfect, my students full of affect, if I only had a job. Oh, I'd be full of glee. I'd be the happiest guy of all. Oh, I would really have a ball. I'd teach my class unbashfully.
He'd be very pathetic and not at all pathetic and never find a job.
His teaching would be snappy, and his students never crappy if he only had a job.
Are you sure you won't deplore a job with not much pay?
I just need a job.
And you'll teach for many hours a day. And then you'll teach and teach some more.
Have you got a job?
Oh, Mr. Lion, you know what? You're gonna find that job, and we're gonna all help you get some courage.
Oh, sure. And this is the bad witch. Oh, yes. I'm sure you'll find a job in 5 different schools and no benefits. And, oh, you'll be one of those great freeway flyers where you prepare your lesson plans as you go from 5 different schools, but you'll have a job.
But think about those bright, eager students hanging on to your every word. How rewarding.
Oh, yeah, rewarding indeed. Monumental pay, benefits, a private office, furniture, a full-time job.
Yes, a job.
Jimmy, is it still so hard to find a full-time job?
Yes. A full-time job. Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, you know, let's meet this other gentleman here. Sir, mighty fine headgear you have on there. You look like you might enjoy heavy metal music.
Oh, heavy metal? Well, I've been chopping wood for TESOL for 2 decades now. Mr. Lion, I can emphasize it was tough at the beginning, but you know what? I don't have necks to grind. And guess what? After 20 years, I'm finally hoping for tenure at my community college. A day job, and no more nighttime, and no more moonlighting, but alas, no health benefits, no retirement pensions. I'd ever so enchanted if my tenure I granted, I would be a joyful man. And I teach with assurance if I had health insurance and perhaps a pension plan.
Oh, don't tell me in 50 years ESL teachers still don't have health benefits. After that tornado, I'm going to need to see a doctor.
Oh. Well, Dorothy, cheer up, because we now have Obamacare, and that helps a little in the U.S.
Oh, Obama? Who's that? Some Irish guy?
Oh, Obama. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we'll catch you up a little bit later, Dorothy. But let's move along here. Say, sir, you kind of look like something that maybe was blown in with a tornado from the cornfields of Kansas, but you don't look all that scary.
Well, Professor, my head may be full of straw, but I've been around for a long time. You name it, been there, done that, but maybe not everything. You know, I'd love to give a keynote address at the TESOL convention someday. And you know what? I would like to write a world-acclaimed book, you know, a book that would bring in thousands of dollars in royalties.
Royalties, lots of dollars. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I would write my own bestseller. My books, they'd be so stellar. I'd try not to be too vain. I'd be such a famous Swami, all my fans would flock around me if I only had a brain.
He would not be just a nothing, his head all full of stuffing, his teaching all in vain.
His speeches would be eloquent. His books would be grandiloquent. If he only had a brain.
Yeah, hey there, Scarecrow, you can do it.
Yeah, sure you can. And you know what? Maybe with the help of the good witch here, we could find a wizard who could help us all. Because, you know, I'm looking for the same thing you guys are. An interview, a job, benefits, and maybe a presentation at TESOL someday. And I would like to write a book, too. I'm determined. But guys, you gotta help me. I need to catch up on 50 years of lost history here. Can't you help me?
Well, let's see. You think we could help her, Glenda, or what do you think about that? Maybe, maybe we could. What do you think?
I think we can help her. Yes, most definitely we can help her.
Okay. Well,
What's the straw man think? He has good ideas with that brain.
all right. Let's see. Now, where was that?
Okay. So you already know that TESOL was born in 1966. And I think that was the year that you were blown out of Kansas, right?
Yes. What were things like in 1966?
Well, my head may be full of straw, but I was starting college in New York, and my mom went to that very first TESOL convention. And, you know, people had been having one heck of a time figuring out what to call the new organization. Well, there was TESOL, TEFL, ATESOL, NCTE, NAFSA, tennis.
Whoa. Well, hold on there with that alphabet soup stuff, Scarecrow. We've heard about TESOL and TEFL, but what about this tennis? Sounds like a racket to me.
Yes, I remember reading about it. Teaching English to non-native English speakers, TENNES, tennis.
Seriously, people? This is our history?
Well, dearie, tennis, TENNES, didn't really serve the profession very well. But you know, TESOL didn't just suddenly like magically appear in 1966.
Well, that's absolutely right. In fact, there were years and years of meetings and discussions and people traveling all over the country trying to figure out how to form a new organization. But in 1966, everyone finally agreed to call it TESOL.
Well, and hats off to those early pioneers of TESOL.
And a shout out for the person behind the scenes who started it, James E. Alatis.
Well, Jimmy Alatis, wasn't he a famous sports bookie, Jimmy the Greek?
No. No, James Alatis was Greek-American, but he was no bookie.
But wouldn't you say he bet on TESOL becoming an important organization?
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like Dr. Alatis was a man of amazing vision and determination. I wonder if he might have been thinking something like, somewhere over the rainbow, in reality, English teachers will gather in one community.
With all our efforts, we'll install our world organization. It will be called TESOL.
Our founders, they will find a way to start up this society so hopeful. Teachers will come from far away to share and learn and then to talk. They'll be so joyful. And then 50 years later, from that birth, thousands of them will gather from over all the earth.
Now, as you fine scholars and teachers know, way back in 1966, some people called the most popular method the Michigan method.
Oh, no, not those crazy pattern practices.
Oh yeah, mem pattern practices were being used so successfully at Michigan's English Language Institute that they called it the Michigan method. Can you imagine?
Well, how popular was this Michigan method?
Too popular, if you ask me. For my money, well, I think I would have revolutionized everything with Chomsky's transformational grammar.
Oh yes, well, Chomsky was brilliant for theoretical linguistics, but transformational grammar wasn't relevant to language teaching, right?
Well, but in the 1970s, things changed. There were lots of wild new methods, all of them claiming to be the ultimate successful method.
Oh, wow, great. Well, what were they?
Well, sweetie, they claimed those methods were the cat's meow. Oh, sorry, Mr. Lion. But with, some of them were not just wild. They were downright, bizarre.
Oh, I remember reading in Dr. Larson Freeman's book about those methods of the 1970s. Designer methods, some people called them.
Wasn't there one where students were put into hypnotic trance and Baroque music in the background, and the teachers and the dialogues? Suggestopedia.
Well, I would never have had the brains to make it through a Suggestopedia class, but how about some of those warm and fuzzy methods that took into account affective variables? You remember community language learning? Now, students, you sit in a circle and hug each other and say something nice, and I'll translate.
Yeah, but those affectively based methods, they were just a new kind of idea then, but, my heart is all aflutter. Those warm and, fuzzy methods.
I don't think I would love those methods. I still need a heart transplant.
Oh, I remember another one. I read there was something called the natural approach. I hear on the beaches in Australia they practice the natural approach. Takes a lot of nerve.
That sounds kind of naughty. We would never have gone natural back in Kansas. Of course, we also didn't have any beaches.
Hey, once just last year I adapted one of those designer methods, total physical response.
What was that? One of Dr. Ruth's sex manuals?
Oh, now, hold on, guys. There's very good research to show that connecting body motions with language is really effective. But, you know, all those 1970s designer techniques, they were kind of like, you know, fashion trends.
Follow designer techniques. Follow designer techniques. Follow designer techniques.
Suggest a P, a T, PR, the silent way, and CLL.
Those designer methods are really swell. Follow designer techniques.
Well, okay. Yeah, those were the days. But now let's see. Where were we? Oh, yes, I think we're in the 1980s now, and we had a major revolution in language teaching coming on. Everyone went crazy about CLT.
CLT? That sounds like a nutritious sandwich for vegetarians. Carrots, lettuce, and tomato. Oh, waiter, I'll have a CLT sandwich with my V8 juice.
No, Dorothy. CLT stands for communicative language teaching. But like a good sandwich in small bites, it worked pretty well. Some even called it the gospel according to CLT. We're off to teach our students with the gospel of CLT. We hear it's really a wizard way to get them all to learn. They yakety-yak on whatever they want. They talk until they're blue in the face. Because.
Sauvignon and Little Word says they does?
We're off to teach our students with the gospel of CLT.
Well,
But now, wait just a minute. In my MA TESOL methods class, I remember reading in a book, H. Douglas Brown's book, that communicative language teaching was an excellent example of eclecticism, enlightened eclecticism.
well, I think that was probably a highly informative book, and yes, brilliant book. Brilliant, absolutely.
Well, hey, if he can write a great book, maybe there's hope for me. A best-selling book.
Well, you know, I was finishing up my graduate school program when CLT was going very strong. And I have to say, the whole concept was very theoretically sound. It meshed well with principles like learner-centered teaching, small group discussion, less teacher talk, student interaction, and real-world language.
So was it a good method or a bad method?
Oh, well, it was not a method at all, Dorothy. It was called the communicative approach.
Okay, method, approach, technique, design? I'm so confused.
Well, that's why Richards and Rogers wrote their book on approaches and methods, to clear up all those terms.
Richards and Rogers. Oh, Rogers. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
No, Dorothy, another Rogers, but we'll catch you up on that later. And
Well, you know, some people were really, really fed up with methods, Dorothy. Methods with a capital M. And so in the early 1990s, people started talking about the death of methods. And some people even said we were in post-method condition.
What?
Yeah, someone even wrote an article called A Requiem for Methods. Can you imagine?
Hey, oh yes, I remember that. Can you imagine the funeral?
Ding
dong, the way is dead.
Which old way?
The method's way. Ding dong, the method's way is dead. Wake up, you TESOLers. Get out of bed, seize the day. Let them know the method's way is dead.
Well, you know, I don't think the 1990s were all that bad. You know, one bright light was the new research on multiple intelligences. We're all smart, even me with my head full of straw, but in different ways. You know, one of the best books I read was by someone named Mary Ann Christison on multiple intelligences in the ESL classroom.
Oh, really? Oh, well, she must have been really fabulous. Multiple intelligences. It sounds kind of magical to me.
You know, guys, this is getting a bit overwhelming. So much happened in 50 years. I'm going to have to write all this down and then make a chart out of it, maybe put some of it into a song, talk to some people about it, and see if it all adds up.
Well, so you would be using your verbal, your spatial, your musical, your interpersonal, and even your mathematical intelligences.
My head is spinning so much I can hardly stand.
That's bodily kinesthetic intelligence.
Oh.
What?
So let's see. You know, Dorothy, I think all of this stuff is going to come back to you, but it's going to take a little time, so don't worry too much. But we're going to kind of move along here with our, you know, kind of trying to get you to recover 50 years of history. And so in 1991, TESOL was celebrating the 25th anniversary of the organization, and by that time, it had changed a lot.
Yes, by that time it was already an international association representing thousands of English teachers worldwide. And hey, you know, Dorothy, I just saw on TESOL's website that there are...
You're losing me again. Website? Like the cobwebs in my brain?
Well, maybe, but I think I'm talking about a different web. The World Wide Web. Anyway, never mind. TESOL has over 100 affiliated professional organizations representing over 47,000 teachers in 60 countries from Albania to Vietnam.
Wow. Vietnam. Things have changed since 1966.
Well, yes, they have changed, Dorothy, and for the better. And don't forget, teachers in every country of the world can engage in TESOL-sponsored professional development events online.
Online? They have to stand in line for them?
Ooh, you know what, Dorothy? I see there's a lot that we're going to have to cover here, but we'll try to get you up to speed soon, and maybe don't worry too much. I mean, this is kind of overwhelming. But meanwhile, let's talk about TESOL in the new millennium. What do you say, guys?
Millennium? Wow. Oh, that always seemed so far away.
Oh.
Wow. The year 2000 for us now seems like a long time ago. But wasn't that when TESOL had a brand new challenge, the surge of technology in our teaching and learning?
Yeah, an opportunity, you know, from computers to smartphones, and we now have so many different teaching aids.
Wait, smartphones? Smartphones? My telephone in Kansas was pretty dumb.
Oh, brother. So I'm guessing words like internet and Wi-Fi and email and spam, that don't mean a lot to you, right?
I ate spam back in Kansas.
Well, Dorothy, this spam is a little different. And I don't suppose things like e-learning, Chi, call, mall mean a lot to you?
Mall. I was just going to the mall before the tornado picked me up and blew me here. I love to shop.
Oh, well, in this case, Dorothy, this is a different kind of a mall. It's MALL, Mobile Assisted Language Learning. You get it?
not entirely.
Well, yeah, I get confused too these days, with e-books, blogs, tweets, online courses, virtual classrooms, asynchronous learning. My head spins. I lose a lot of straw that way.
Don't forget iCloud, blended learning, MOOCs, podcasts, and millions of apps. Hey, did you know there's an app for Macs called Wizard?
Guys, please, apps? Macs? Oh, Mac, like a Big Mac hamburger from McDonald's.
Well, Dorothy, once again, I think we're going to just have to cover a lot of things a little later. So anyway, you can Google all those terms if you want.
On your iPad or your Mac or your iPhone. Oh, my iPhone 6 is just magical. It's almost as good as my tablet.
Oh, no, you're not going to tell me those trusty little yellow ruled pads now mean something different.
Well, hey, we're really just getting started. English learners around the world today aren't just learning English, they're learning cyber English. Hey, there's this great book by someone named Dorothy Zimak on English for scammers. Can you believe it? ESP for scammers.
Oh, goodness. I hate to say this, but this is worse than the tornado.
Well, yeah, I could even update my head full of straw by visiting TESOL's call interest section at the Electronic Village right here at TESOL in Baltimore.
And while you're about it, why don't you check out TESOL's online professional courses? Dorothy, how can we put it? Let's see, online. Okay, it's kind of like maybe what you remember is a televised English course.
Okay, yeah, I kind of understand.
Hey, well, we all might be due for an update on this most amazing revolution of all, the tech revolution.
Follow the cybertech road. Follow the cybertech road. Follow the cybertech road.
Now I am completely befuddled. All that I know is terribly muddled. When will I from the tech world be unsnowed?
From the tech world be unsnowed. Well, Dorothy, we're almost up to 2016 now, and with all that's been happening in TESOL in 1966, there has been a lot, but Glinda, maybe our three new friends here could enlighten us on how they see a new TESOL in 2016 that might not have been there in 1966.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. What do you guys think TESOL has accomplished in the last 50 years? Our challenges, our little victories, plus maybe even some dreams that are over the rainbow, so to speak.
Well, as the new cub on the block, from what I've been studying and learning, it's very clear that not just any native speaker can teach English. It takes expertise and a lot of training to be a really good teacher.
And we found that non-native English-speaking teachers are just as good. And often they're even better than native speakers. In fact, most English users around the world are non-native English speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the most rewarding changes over the years has been the spread of English worldwide. It's now a global language used almost everywhere. Even we brainless scarecrows can communicate in almost every country of the world.
Wow, it sounds like even a girl from Kansas could travel the world, especially with this new technology stuff you guys are talking about.
Sure. Well, think how many people in China and Brazil and Egypt are all using social media in English.
Social media? You're losing me again.
Yeah, well, once again, I think, Dorothy, we got a lot to catch up on later, so maybe we could just kind of move on. What else do you think has changed?
Well, I like to think that culturally we are more globally aware and understanding of each other, of many different cultural traditions. The world has gotten smaller and smaller, and there's less xenophobia, less racial bias, less religious bias, less homophobia, and less gender bias.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and speaking of xenophobia, remember all those English-only movements in the USA? Well, thanks to TESOL and other language organizations, we've made a lot of progress on that front.
Yeah, we seem to respect diversity a lot better. We're not there yet, but through language, we're understanding each other better. And hey, speaking of the gender gap, who knows? This year, the USA may have its first woman president.
Wow. That would never have happened in 1966. Hey, I wonder if maybe sometime in the future we could even have a black president.
Well, Dorothy, there's a lot of history that we haven't covered yet, but you know, it's okay. We'll fill you in later on all those things.
Well, one of the big challenges that TESOLers everywhere are still working on is global peace. A world where all of us get along with each other and celebrate differences and diversity, and with language, resolve of conflicts peacefully.
Hey, we've been working on that a long time. I was a college student in 1967 in the Summer of Love in San Francisco. You know, all we are saying is give peace a chance. Very emotional, and it wasn't just all that weed I was smoking either.
You're right.
Well, you know, I see there's a TESOL interest section on social responsibility. I think I'll check that one out here in Baltimore. Maybe get some ideas on peace education.
Yeah, well, that would be a great idea. And you know, it's another sign that TESOL has come a long way since Dr. James Lattis's dreams of 1966. And so we still, though, have many challenges ahead of us in spite of that. And so let's keep on celebrating TESOL's 50th anniversary.
Hey, Professor Marvel and my newfound friends, you have been a whiz of a group in helping me find my way through my 50 years of lost history. And wow, what exciting challenges we have ahead of us.
Yes, ahead of all of us.
To our future! And speaking of TESOL's future and our future for everyone in this room, shall we let our audience know what our magic crystal ball sees in our own future here for each of us? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cowardly Lion completes his capstone paper, graduates with his MA TESOL with honors, gets a PhD, and lands a job in a highly respected university in my home state of Kansas. In his community, he spreads goodwill and appreciation of diversity through barbershop quartet singing.
And the Tin Woodman gets health benefits and a pension plan. And after 20 years of community college teaching, decides to dedicate his volunteer time to helping students all over the globe to practice peaceful Confucian principles of harmony. He volunteers as a soloist in his local community Chinese opera performances.
And the Scarecrow writes a best-selling book on how to be a wizard of English teacher, and is worldwide demand as a conference speaker and workshop leader on intercultural communication. Through drama and music, he helps participants to come to a better global understanding of diverse cultures.
The good witch Glinda. She continues to wave her magic wand over every English student worldwide. Through her TESOL methodology books, presentations in many different countries, and teaching at her university, she promotes communication across linguistic borders.
And now, Professor Marvel. He retires to a little grass shack in Hawaii.
With Neil
Anderson.
No. And through his books and teaching, he is very pleased to have helped his marvelous TESOL students worldwide lead fulfilling lives. But, most importantly, with his Kansas friend Dorothy, he is delighted to write an occasional goofy musical tribute to milestone anniversaries.
And as for Dorothy, we're delighted to say that Dorothy gets her memory fully restored. Can you imagine that after 50 years? She never gets back to Kansas, but she does land a wonderful job as starting her own publishing company in Seattle. Dorothy. Now, while we're mentioning Seattle, may we remind you of a couple of things. Seattle's nickname is the Emerald City. And next year's convention is going to be in Seattle. So, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we have a wonderful musician back there who gets all the work and no glory. Larry Zweer.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Okay, well, let's see now, everyone. You see, TESOL's journey has most certainly been a collective journey of all of us toward the rainbows of our many dreams. And so as we bid you adieu, may we remind you of a few things here.
Somewhere out in our future, in our view, teachers will all be working, making our dreams come true. Somewhere, if we keep trying, 'tis our plea. People will come together, all seeking unity. With language everyone can come to understand each other more through TESOL. To reach across dividing lines and celebrate diversity, that's surely our call.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand up and sing with us the original Over the Rainbow? And the words are on your screen.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, two birds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why can't I?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone.
Enjoy Baltimore.